Hey Pisces, I hope you're doing well. This is going to be a general reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter placements for September 9th through the 15th. Any information you need, Pisces, you can find it down below. We're going to start with your smoke story. See what stories come through in the smoke, symbols, numbers, anything like that wants to come through, visions. So let's see what we have here for you, Pisces, and then we'll get into the tarot after that, okay? Now, I want to warn you all, these readings can kind of jump around a lot, so just be prepared for that. This is more of like one of those readings where certain things resonate, certain things don't, and I don't necessarily always read in a straight line when it comes to things like this. So just want to make you aware of that. You could stick around, skip around. You might find a message that is meant for you, okay? Now, Pisces, listen, I do have a deal going on right now. It is a 2-question video reading or a general topic. It's $22.22. You can get it within 2 to 3 business days. This is open for a limited time. The details are down below if you're interested, Pisces. Are some of you learning the tarot? I feel like somebody here could be learning the tarot. Maybe you might resonate with the Gilded Tarot deck. Personally, I prefer Rider-Waite-Smith, but I was seeing images of the Gilded deck there coming up for some reason. Maybe some of you already practice with that deck, Pisces. I don't know. You may get some messages out of that one, though. There are broken lines here trailing off, and they reform. So I do wonder, for some of you, there's a disconnect, or calls might get disconnected, and you can even, well, maybe you can't really see that, but there are 2 lines of smoke, and they're separate, and then they come back together, okay? They come back together, and I do wonder if for some of you this has to do with you growing apart from someone and coming back together with them. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic connection, although it could be. But it's almost like this person is just really in your face all of a sudden. They're just popping up everywhere. And it's not to say that they have to be popping up in physical places. It's like, say, for example, you run into their mom in the grocery store, right? And then you see their brother and your suggested friends on social media, right? It's like something about them is popping up. Then their favorite movie comes on TV. 222 on the camera as I'm saying this. But yeah, Pisces, it's little things like that that might start to remind you of a person. But there's still a really invasive energy here. I feel like some of you, there's sensory overwhelm, like clicking, quacking, clanking of forks and things. Some of you, I feel like there could be a little bit of overwhelm here. The letter O might be significant to you. Yeah, Pisces, I do. I think that some of you need a break from your environment. It seems like there's too much going on. It seems like a sensory overload here. Some of you here may need to take hydration more seriously. There's something about that coming through as well. Some of you, maybe you were like drinking your water, getting all your water in and all that, and then maybe you stopped, right? Maybe you started drinking juice or soda or something of that nature, So I do feel like for somebody that message might be coming through. Maybe you were feeling better when you were doing that, or yeah, I'm getting some energy about a focus on health and routine and things like that. So that's coming through, but I can't talk too much about that. I'm not a doctor, okay? The smoke's really thinning over this way. I feel like an old tie is going to be cut. Like old ties here, I feel like are going to be cut. It's like the smoke thins and then it clears, and you can kind of see it fading out here as well. It's going this way, it's going that way. I feel like some of you, there is an energetic tie that is being cut here. I also feel like some of you are cleared from suspicion in a situation here. Like if something went down at work, I feel like you're cleared from some sort of suspicion there. They're like, well, it couldn't have been Pisces because blah, 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 right? Some of you might be cleared by a doctor for something as well. Maybe if you've been on light duty or something of that nature, they're like, look, you're good to go, right? By a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I cannot clear you, right? So just making that clear. A C name might be significant, or a T. The smoke's curving there where the C was. Maybe an S. Some of you an A, okay? But yeah, Pisces, this could be initials of people. It could be initials of places, states, things like that. Some of you might be considering going to school. something like with the word state in it. You know, maybe it's like Ohio State or something. I don't know. Scorpio energy here. Leo. Capricorn. There's someone here who doesn't want to let go of you, Pisces. Some of you, it's in Aries. It feels like somebody who has a lot of intensity to them, okay? They're very intense. They're very mysterious. Maybe the signs that I was listing, maybe that's in their big three or Venus here, Pisces, but the energy was tense, okay? But it's cleared now. You know, there's no smoke rolling anymore. It feels like for a lot of you, you're no longer feeding something here, Pisces, but somebody's like waiting for you to feed it again. They're waiting for you to light this up again, so they can do nothing. It's almost like somebody just kind of wants to stand there and bask in your attention or your energy. So that's very odd to me, Pisces, but we are going to go ahead and move the smoke out the way here and see what we got going on. We're going to get into the Millennial Tarot, and then we will read with Rider-Waite-Smith to clarify, okay? Let's see. What do we have coming through for Pisces? September 9th through the 15th, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter placements, Pisces. Your cards want to pop out. Okay. Now this deck here can kind of touch on some specifics, so I am going to touch on those specifics first, and then I'll get into the more general. So just because you hear me start saying things that don't make sense to you doesn't mean that it won't make sense to you soon, okay? So we have the Four of Thoughts as your overall self-care. I told you, Pisces, I feel like there's this energy here where some of you just really, really need to retreat in this time frame. It just really feels like a lot of you are needing that, especially if you're around a lot of people. It doesn't mean you got to shut everybody out for good, but I do think for some of you, you could definitely use some alone time. Now, others of you, some of you could enjoy biking, or someone that you are connected to might enjoy biking. This Aquarius, this Sag, fellow Pisces, Scorpio, some of you a Taurus. I got Libra and Aqua energy here too a little bit, but yeah, some of you might end up going on a trip here with friends in the future, okay? Maybe that's your getaway. Maybe it's not necessarily that you need to get away from all people, but maybe you need to get away from certain people, right? Maybe you need to get away from work. Some of you becoming more environmentally friendly. Maybe that's why you're cycling here. For someone, somebody here might know an unemployed stay-at-home dad. There's something coming through about that. Furlough. So yeah, there could be something that comes up about that in this time frame here, Pisces. For some, there's been a hold on something or a hold on money. I feel like something's coming through about that in this time frame, but we're going to get into that general energy now that we've gotten out of the specifics that are laid out so plainly here in this deck. You do have Temperance and the King of Cups. So I do wonder, for some of you, you could be moving into a space of peace, harmony, and balance with a person here who is very emotionally intense. I do wonder when it comes to this King of Cups energy, what's gone down here, because this person seems to have their emotions a little buried. I feel like they're holding back, hiding their feelings here. Look, there's King of Cups again. This is somebody who feels a lot, but they may not say it. They may not say it. I feel like you're finding peace with this person, or maybe you're just making peace with the fact that they are like this, right? You're like, you know what? They're not going to change. Let me just move on. Some of you, it's a Capricorn with the Four of Pentacles showing up. Nine of Swords. This person's stressing. This person's stressing, and it's interesting too. We got Gemini energy coming through. It's interesting too, Pisces, because I feel that you were wishing for this person to communicate with you. And I think that for a lot of you, you finally just stopped pouring energy into this. Like, you're not going to try to get them to communicate anymore. And they're stressing about that now. It's so odd. It's so odd. I feel like now they're trying to come forward with some sort of message, some sort of expression here. But I feel like with Temperance showing up, you're already in the process of making peace with that if you haven't already. Next, you have the Star and the Hanged Man, okay? There's been a wish that's been delayed, but I feel like in this time frame it could definitely be granted here, Pisces. There's something, you know, the star is wishes being fulfilled, but it's also hope, renewal, rebirth, faith. And then we have the Hangman, which can be a stuck energy, or it can be like Spirit saying, hey, I want to bring this in, but I want you to, you know, kind of process the situation that you're in right now, right? It's sort of like Spirit's not going to move you through a room into the next one until you notice something big that's in that room that you need to notice. It needs to be carried with you into the next one. So you can't leave that room without that thing. So until you acknowledge that, you're staying here, right? So it's kind of giving me that energy, Pisces. Let me see what's going on with this. Some of you have acknowledged what the thing was. Maybe you're realizing, some of you Pisces, this could be a lesson in self-love for some of you in regards to like wanting somebody to love you a certain way or to show up in a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for some of you, maybe you realize that you weren't showing up for yourself in that way. So that could be the thing Spirit wanted you to learn before it would move you forward here. The Emperor is showing up, another major arcana. And the Chariot, another major arcana. So yeah, that Emperor is head over heart energy. The Chariot, you're pushing forward, Pisces. And it feels like you're pushing forward in an emotional situation here. So it's like your emotions are no longer taking the wheel. You're just deciding to say, hey, I see you. I know you're there. But guess what? This is what I need to do, right? That's the energy that I feel here. Even if you're feeling like you want something different, you know what's best for you, you know? And it's like you are being really disciplined in this time frame here, Pisces, is the energy that I get. Some of you, something about a car showing up. Some of you may visit your father, or your father may come to visit you. Something about a vehicle or a movement. You got the Cyclist, you got the Chariot. There is a victory coming in though, Pisces. I feel like with the Star, the Chariot, you know, the Emperor, the Hangman, I feel like a wish is granted when you least expect it here, Pisces. Something comes towards you that you didn't think was going to come at all. Or you move forward in a situation where you've been up against a lot of obstacles. What's going on over here? You got the Six of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. So Six of Swords is movement as well. You know, oftentimes it shows up whenever you're traveling or whenever you're just moving on from a really tough situation, which could be a Five of Pentacles energy. If you've been struggling financially or struggling with something at work, or something in the home, I feel like this could be a change happening there in that situation, Pisces. Let me get another shuffle here. You have the Nine of Wands. Some of you have been really on edge lately. Somebody here could have their moon in Sagittarius, Cancer, or Aries. You have the Two of Wands showing up here. This is you putting plans into action. And look at that. Four of Swords is your overall. This is so weird because I just read for Leo and they had the Queen of Cups as their overall in this deck and the Queen of Cups as their overall in this deck. So it's interesting that you have the Four of Swords on both decks here. But yeah, you know, Four of Swords can come through as a card of rest, gratitude, being at peace with something. Hello, Pisces. That's what we were just talking about. There's something here that I feel like you're coming to terms with. And just as you do that, somebody else is like, no, we can't come to terms with this, right? This isn't the way I wanted it to be permanently. So that's kind of giving an odd energy. It seems like somebody is watching you in Six of Swords energy, watching you move forward. And they could be the one on edge here. But for some of you, I do feel like you could be a little bit nervous about forward movement, about putting certain plans into action. It's like, what if I am in Five of Pentacles energy again because I did this? And I really don't think that's the case here, Pisces. I feel like for some of you, you've experienced misfortune in a situation and you may be feeling like every similar situation is going to end the same, and it's not, okay? It's not. Two of Wands, he's got the world in his hand here. I feel like you have much more control over the situation than you did before, if that makes sense. So I do feel that for a lot of you, there's something that's going to bring you to a level of peace here in this time frame. Three of Cups. Things start coming together here. So mind, body, spirit, I feel like you are just rounding out here, Pisces. The energy feels really good. I feel like a wish is being granted when maybe you're in a space where you don't feel like it's going to be. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Pisces. I hope that this was helpful or fun or whatever you needed it to be. Details are down below for anyone who is interested in personals. Like I said, there is a sale going on. It is a 2-question video reading. It's $22.22. You get it within 2 to 3 business days, Pisces. You could also check out your other signs. I'm reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter placements, okay? But Pisces, if this is where we part, I do want to thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.